I have been so fucking frustrated because propaganda piece by the government. That's a pretty impressive feat. Some sort of nefarious thing. Give me a little fucking break, because there's nothing wrong with it. That's all bullshit. That's all contrived. That's a conspiracy. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. I'm not showing the Chinese government in my videos. Give me a fucking break. There's going to be some swearing in this episode, and so I'm just giving you a fair warning.
Uh-oh, tough guy. He's going to curse at the camera. We better watch out.
This channel is going to conform a bit more travel related. I'm going to move off some more of the controversial content, the stuff where I share my opinions.
By this, you mean propaganda?
Give me a fucking break. I've also been Malaysia, India, backpacking across Malaysia. Little villages, very beautiful in their own right. And I have been to some of the most expensive countries as well. I feel like I have a pretty good hold on things, and therefore I think that my opinion matters in some way.
Awesome, Matt. But just one question. Did Malaysia ever pay for your flights there? Did India pay for your flights there? Did Thailand ever pay for your flights there? Or Japan? Or Korea? How about your hotels? Food, accommodation, anything. Did any of these other countries you ever went to pay for anything? Did their state-run media, did their state media or private media or anyone contact you and pay you? No, didn't think so. But only China does that.
People started accusing me of being a mouthpiece for Chinese propaganda.
Actually, this isn't an accusation. It's already been proven multiple times. It's been presented with irrefutable evidence. Do we need to continue to look at the past videos that you put out? Not I, that you put out. Things that you said in your own words, not mine. If we need to go back over these videos, we can. Remember, you said that they didn't fit enough propaganda for you guys in.
They had to fit in more propaganda visits.
Yeah, but they didn't say that, did they? But that's what happened.
And because of that, they were unhappy. They wanted you to push more propaganda. And you admitted that, right? That's what you said, okay? Regardless, you have had state-run media outlets pay for your travels, your foods, your accommodation, one way or another. They have even put you with other foreigners that you didn't know into filming groups. And again, this is not an accusation. This is on video. Irrefutable evidence. Something that you mentioned, that you admitted to. These were not accusations we made. We took your content and used it against you. You literally showed up to a place with banners pre-made and other foreigners you didn't know, and when they asked you on multiple occasions to read from a script, you declined.
Why though? Let's think about this. Why have I been propagandized? What exactly have I been saying that is so dastardly? Hutsun village, farming, producing vegetables in an area that normally doesn't produce a lot of vegetables. This is worthy of criticism.
Yes, very much worthy of criticism. Let me ask you a question, Matt. Did you plant a single seed? Did you harvest anything? Did you dig a single hole? Okay. Did you do anything? Did you dig a hole into the ground? Did you, I don't know, go around with one of those cows? Did you do anything? Did you help build a greenhouse? Did you do a single thing? The answer is no. Of course not. You didn't pick a single fruit. You got there and they had pre-made signs and banners where they had an entire film team ready for you. You were literally used for propaganda. And you were aware of this before going, aware of this when you got there, aware of this while you were being filmed doing it, and you continued to support it even after. Even after knowing that you were used by propaganda multiple times by CRI and other groups now, you realized, and now you have to backtrack, and now you want to sound as if it's okay. But it's not. Okay? They called you internet celebrities. What a joke. Okay? You guys are not internet celebrities. You guys are internet propaganda tools. And that's exactly what they've been using you for.
I have been so fucking frustrated because I believe that the message that I send through my channel is genuine.
Matt, you're so fucking angry because you know the truth. Deep down in your heart, you know the truth. Now, your brain tells you to deny. But you know that they have used you multiple times and that you have used them as an advantage for travel. And now you're angry that you have been exposed for it. What, you didn't think that we would know? As I said years ago to you, when you were riding that bike, where was CGTN? Where was CRI? Where was I Chongqing? When you were riding that bike all over hell, when you were in the rain and going through mud and dirt, when you were hit by that truck and you were laying in the street, not knowing if you were going to die, where were they? Where was CGTN? Where was CRI? They weren't there. Do you know why they weren't there? I'll be brutally honest with you. Because they don't care. They don't care that you ride that bike from northern China to southern China. They don't care. They have never cared for you. They only care what you can do for them. They only care what you can say for them. What they want is for you to show up when you are needed, to stand in front of a sign that they pre-made with propaganda. And they want you to speak a few words, right? That's what they want.
我很高兴你们invite us to come here today. 哇，太厉害了！给 YouTube 哇，他们太厉害了，我也太厉害了。
But it's not bad, right? They want you to speak a few words. Admittedly, you know, what you did in China, riding that bike, it's nothing short of amazing. I agree. You know, it would be insanely difficult to do that. Anyone that thinks that they can do that, man, that would be hard. It really would. But where were they? Where was Liu Xin? Nowhere. She only came out to clean up the mess you guys made when a British media outlet started to expose you guys for being shills. Do you know why they came out? Why Liu Xin came out? Because she had to clean up the mess you made. The CCP had to clean their hands of blood. They said, we don't support them. We don't support these idiots. That's what they said. And they realized that you guys aren't really that useful unless you're being used locally. Because on the internet, you're being exposed. Because you're an embarrassment to the CCP. An embarrassment. Think about that. You are an embarrassment to the CCP so much that they had Liu Xin, the country's most known news reporter practically, go on television and denounce the fact that the CCP even knows you. Think about that. In your defense of not being used by state-run media, you went on state-run media and the CCP said they didn't even know you. That's an embarrassment. And you're an embarrassment to the American people.
And I started actually taking the criticism somewhat seriously and thinking about it. Like, what am I doing wrong? Am I not being honest with you guys? Am I being non-genuine? Am I accepting trips that I shouldn't have? Am I doing something wrong?
Nope, you are 100% not being transparent. You were being supported by state-run media outlets this entire time. It was presented to us wrongly. It was presented to us as if you were some guy on a bike with all of his own gear, his own camera, and then it changed. You went from being Jayoe Nation, the guy on the bike that used all of his own stuff, to a guy that started to go into state-run media propaganda things. And you never told anyone. You never became transparent. You never put this information at the bottom of your video. You never said, hey, I'm helping the state-run media to do this and this and this. But you accepted those trips and didn't tell people. Even I was offered many of those trips in China. It isn't something that, just a few of you guys got. Even myself was offered this. And I'm a smaller channel than you. And the reason that I got offered is because I was in those WeChat groups. Those WeChat groups for white monkeys, those WeChat groups for these types of outings. But I never did it because I don't support the CCP. I don't support state-run media. And I don't because they have an agenda against our country. As an American, you should understand this more than anyone. But you don't because you are selfish and greedy. And all you want is to be pushed by the CCP to help you with some little internet celebrity status that you think you have. But I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, there is nothing more important than a person's morals. And every single time you sell yourself out, you know it. And I know it. And the American people will know it. And the reason that they will know is because I will expose you continuously. And it's very obvious. People can see you pushing propaganda. And people are not stupid.
She became very successful in China. Very successful. And as soon as she became successful in China, she got recognition. Just as anybody in the world would by their home country. If you were in Germany and you were doing something that was fantastic and something that was like, I don't know, engineering your own sort of automobile and, like German engineering. Like, let's say you built something out of your garage and you did something great and it was amazing. And Germany said, you know what? This is Germany. It'd be something to be proud of. That person in Germany should be able to say, I am proud of being represented by my country. I'm proud of what I did. He didn't make his engineering project to become part of Germany's zeitgeist. But he was recognized by Germany.
So here's something you don't understand, Jayoe. How come they take you, put you out in these areas, farming areas, where it's hard to grow vegetables, and they show you guys happy and dancing? Why do they do that? How come they show Li Ziqi in the countryside, in poverty, and they're over-glamorizing it? Why would they over-glamorize what life is really like in those places? Why is that? Why would they make it seem like it's something that it's not? Because that's propaganda. That's the CCP's agenda. It is and has been for a long time. The CCP knows that there are still plenty of people living in poverty, and that these people live in small villages and small towns. And they want to change that idea. They want to say, living in a small town, a small village is not so bad, right? That's the propaganda. That's the reason that they're doing this. And then you make comparisons to America. And while my channel is not really about America, let's do that. My parents are from a small town, okay? How come the farmers in my parents' small town aren't on TV? How come they're not sponsored by the American government? Why isn't the government sending out these studio cameras to film them and edit B-roll and put it on YouTube and all of this thing? Because there's no need to. There's no propaganda being pumped out there. Americans are business owners. They're self-business owners, okay? They're not controlled by the government. They're not forced by the government quota. They're not owned and controlled by the government. They don't have quotas. They don't have to meet these expectations. But they do it anyways, okay? That's why there's no propaganda. Anywhere you look and turn in China, if it's government involved, there's propaganda, okay? But everyone knows that American farmers are hardworking individuals that get up and do this because for many of them, it's all they've ever known. And it is backbreaking work. And no one's going to over-glamorize that, okay? But there's one thing for sure. Farmers in America do work hard. We do know that. And what we do is we say thank you and we appreciate them. They don't have to make videos because they already know that they're appreciated. And there's no quota. There's no fake.
He started off with a used camera. You know you can buy used cameras in China? It doesn't cost $10,000 to buy a nice camera. I have this camera here. It's an 80D from Canon. It's used now. If I turned it back into the used camera market in Shanghai, you could probably pick this camera up for about 1,000 RMB.
You know Li Ziqi has a film crew, right? She's not just using a single camera she bought from a used shop like the one you're holding up. Look at the quality of her videos. It's astronomically higher than any of the quality of any of your videos. It is quite obviously a cinema camera with a high dynamic range. It is clearly a really sharp and expensive lens that she's using. Oh, and you can read all about that here in this article from The Guardian. You see, because they've actually interviewed her before. She's been interviewed and admits to this. Recently, Li has been thrust into a wider spotlight by the Chinese government, who seem to have realized her soft power potential in 2018. The Communist Party of China named her a good young netizen and a role model for Chinese youth. In September 2019, the People's Daily, a CPC mouthpiece, gave Li their People's Choice Award, while last month, state media praised Li for helping to promote traditional culture globally. And the Communist Youth League, let's hear that again. Who was it? That's right. The Communist Youth League named her an ambassador of a program promoting the economic empowerment of rural, if I can speak, rural youth. You see, Jayoe, do you get it now? She's pushed by state-run media. She's pushed by communism. She's pushed by the government. Anytime a successful person does anything good, the CCP will always come along and take all the credit. They will always push you. They will always give you more. And people like you and people like Barrett and Nathan Rich have come to realize that. And that is the reason that you guys continue doing what you're doing. You continue to be a tool from day one. Because you know if you go back to making your old videos, you will get no views.
Li says she now works with one videographer and one assistant, but she's still the one calling the shots.
You can even see in this video here where she admits she started by filming herself. Now she has a videographer and an assistant. Again, how come you don't get it? You think a videographer is going out there with some GoPro and they're like, nah, that's not what they're doing. How come you can't see the obvious and how obvious the propaganda is? She's not using some cheap Canon 80D camera. I'm really baffled that you're this dense, or you're just acting dumb like you always do. Please tell me, just admit that you're acting dumb and I will leave you alone. You can't seriously be this dense. You just can't be. You think someone from the rural areas of China is using a cinema camera with an expensive lens and can afford to hire an entire team? Jayoe, come on.
Give me a fucking break.
Again, all we see here is Jayoe being dumb and then acting dumb on purpose. As I've said on other videos, ignorance is not an excuse for what you're doing. You simply got to realize that you're supporting a communist government and that they're going to use you for every opportunity that they get.
Give me a little fucking break.
And now it is obvious that you are aware that they are using you. And if you are aware that they are using you and you continue to let them do it, that is a bad thing. Because you have had an opportunity to say no and to make that choice. But you have not. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eat our sansa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eat our sansa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eat our sansa.
Being paid by and working for the Chinese government to make positive videos about China. That's just absolutely true. True.